Magellan's Expedition. In this cooperative game, students guide Magellan Expedition on its mission to find cloves. Several groups can play at the same time as long as each group has its own materials. It can be paired with readings on the age of exploration. Students could take notes during the game and write a short story afterwards. The game does deal with potentially sensitive topics such as slavery, so instructors are encouraged to think deeply about whether it is appropriate in their classroom. Instructors should also be sure to note how dangerous the expedition was. For example, that only one ship and 18 men out of the 5 ships and 270 men who set out returned after completing the trip. Some returned early and did not die. To play this game, you'll need an event deck, a game board, crew counters, at least 25 per group, and luck counters, at least 1 for each question, at least 10 6-sided dice per group, plus some extra in reserve. It's also good to have some place for students to roll all those dice. A success board is not necessary, but will help students keep track of failures and successes. You also need cloves card. 9 per group should be sufficient. Crew members go on the C sections, and each one represents 10 men. A ship needs at least 1 crew member or must be abandoned. Players can freely move crew around. Dead crewmen go into the burial at sea square. A marker should be placed on the 8 of cunning, power, provisions, and seafaring areas. That number is how many dice students will roll during a check. Event cards can cause those cards to go up or down. If you have them, foreign coins make good markers. Luck is earned from answering questions correctly. It can be used to change a failure into a success during a check. Luck goes on the ship figurehead. Each turn, players will draw a card that can impact the game. For example, this card increases power by 1. The board has been changed to reflect this. Provisions check. Getting enough food was not always easy for the crew. Therefore, each turn there is a provisions check. To make a provisions check, players roll a number of 6-sided dice equal to the number in the provisions row. A 4, 5, or 6 counts as a success. A 1, 2, or 3 counts as a failure. Total successes are checked against a chart to see if any crew have been lost. This chart can be revised to make the game more or less difficult. A typical chart might look like this. If you have 2 or fewer successes, lose 3 crew from sickness and starvation. You choose what ship they are lost from. If you have 3 successes, lose 2 crew from sickness and starvation. If you have 4 or 5 successes, lose 1 crew from sickness and starvation. If you have 6 successes or more, you lose no crew. In this case, since there are 3 successes, 2 crew would be lost. Each turn, there is also an event that involves making a choice and/or rolling dice. For example, players will face a mutiny and will have to roll their power to see how well they are able to suppress it. Like the provisions check, a table will be provided giving different outcomes based on the number of successes students roll. If a ship is lost because of an event or because of a lack of crew, students should be giving a ship is lost card to cover that ship. At the end of the game, players will calculate their scores based on how many ships, crew, and cloves make it back to Spain. After the game, it is good to have questions for reflection. Such questions could include the following. How successful was your expedition? Why do you think that way? What notable events occurred during your expedition? What did you learn about this time period and the people who lived in it through this historical simulation?